Breaking on 4 News Now at 6. A Shaw middle schooler arrested for bringing a gun to school. How a school resource officer uncovered the potential threat, plus exclusive video of the moment officers examined the loaded handgun.
Get ready for a change in the weather. I'll show you when you can expect rain and gusty winds to arrive in your neighborhood in the First Alert forecast.
And have you looked at your ballot yet? The write-ups for the initiatives in Washington have some voters more than a little confused. We'll explain the new requirement to help you get all the information you need before casting your vote. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. Well, 2 schools in Hilliard were placed on lockdown while police searched for a 12-year-old student who had a loaded handgun. That student also left campus after 911 was called, but was arrested close to Shaw Middle School. Our Derek Strom is live at that middle school with the reaction from a parent.
Kirsten, police say a student brought a loaded handgun in his backpack, showed it to another student, and told him not to tell anyone. School resource officers took that student's backpack, found the gun, and called 911. And that's when the student ran away from the school. Now, police chasing after that student also put the Northeast Community Center preschool in lockdown. Our cameras were there when police officers examined that loaded gun the 12-year-old student brought to Shaw Middle School. Parents of preschoolers like Trinae Dean were worried that the student would find the unlocked door of her daughter's classroom, which is just across the street from the middle school.
I had no communication to even know what was going on, to call and like do I need to pick up my kid? Can I pick up my kid? Or what needed to be done. So it was just really hard not being able to communicate with them and know what was really happening.
Dean says even though her daughter is in preschool, she wants to talk to her about the lockdown and how to stay safe in those situations. But she also wants to talk to the school about how it manages emergency situations like that, especially with 3- and 4-year-olds. Now, police say the student has been taken to the Spokane County Juvenile Detention Center, and he's charged with possession of a dangerous weapon on school facilities and second-degree unlawful possession of a firearm. Live in Hilliard, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, Derek, thank you. A man is in jail for shooting and killing a man in Millwood over the weekend. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says 43-year-old Jonathan Bryman shot William McWright in a parking lot near East Trent and Argonne on Saturday. Investigators believe they were meeting for a possible drug deal. They say at some point Bryman pulled out a gun and shot McWright before driving away. He now faces second-degree murder charges. Well, it is time to say goodbye to our warmer than average fall temperatures because we have cooler, wetter weather on the way. Let's send it over now to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see when that's all going to arrive.
It will not be long now. The clouds have already arrived. We're taking a look at a live picture of downtown Spokane over the Veterans Memorial Arena, the county courthouse, and sunset happened just 1 minute ago, so it's going to be getting dark fast, and the clouds are not helping. We've got showers not far behind as a weather system approaches, bringing with it some cooler and windy weather. Your forecast radar shows that rain moving in by around midnight. By 3 a.m., we see showers all the way from Bonners Ferry down through Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene to Moscow and Pullman, and just starting to move into Lewiston. That band of precipitation will begin clearing the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area by the time the morning commute is underway. If you notice on the left of your screen, seeing a little blue showing up on the east slopes of the northern Cascades, our snow levels will be dropping on Wednesday, and then the chance of showers does return in the afternoon. Hour by hour, a 40% chance of rain at 7 a.m., then that drops to 20%, staying dry through the noon hour, but the winds begin picking up. We'll hit our high of 60 degrees fairly early in the day, with more rain coming in the late afternoon and evening. I'll be back to tell you more about those winds on the way and let you know how long this cool, wet weather is going to stick around in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. New developments now in the case against Brian Kohberger, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. With the case moved to Ada County, a new judge, and the defense pushing to take the death penalty off the table, I spoke to ABC legal analyst Matt Murphy, a homicide prosecutor who has handled many high-profile murder cases. And he says in his experience, delays can last a lot longer.
If it actually goes in August of 2025, believe it or not, in the death penalty world, that is pretty much light speed. I had cases that took a decade to come to trial in the capital case realm. So if they can get it that fast, that's, believe it or not, that's actually very fast for capital case litigation.
And we are working on a larger report ahead of the next hearing in this case in November, talking to a criminal defense attorney as well. That full interview with Matt Murphy can be found right now on KXLY.com.
How would Initiative 2117 impact Washington?
Well, that is the start of one of the many campaign ads released on the 4 initiatives Washington voters will decide on. On your ballot, you'll find a description for each of these ballot initiatives. They're short and sweet, and some might call them confusing. Our Alexandra Cohen-Yarts is live in studio tonight with how these ballot titles and summaries are put together and why this year they are looking so different, Alex.
Yeah, Kirsten, this is the first time in several years that you are actually even seeing initiatives on the ballot again. It is also the first time that they are required to have a public investment impact disclosure, which is a description of no more than 50 words explaining the impact a measure would have if adopted.
Ballot summaries are written in a unique way. They encapsulate a lengthy initiative into a paragraph of less than 75 words. At times, that can make it hard to understand what you're voting on.
Ballot titles are not written in using plain language. They're written using those legal terms to be absolutely accurate. And that does create this dynamic of confusion.
Once the final draft of an initiative is complete, it is sent to the Attorney General, who in 5 days must return the ballot title and summary. They have to follow specific guidelines, including having a description that is true and impartial.
It's a very judicial process, if you will.
Stuart Holmes, the Director of Elections at the Secretary of State's office, says writing these initiative summaries and titles can be challenging.
There are a lot of administrative procedures that can be utilized if there is a need to challenge how something is written or worded.
The new requirements for public investment impact disclosure has raised concern from the supporters of the 4 initiatives on your ballot. Holmes says that this might be because this is the first time this new legislation is being put to the test.
New changes in legislative laws under the state of Washington, we're now starting to see those, and now it's raising those questions, and the legislature may decide next session or in follow-up sessions to take on these questions and refine that process additionally.
Ballot summaries can be confusing and complicated. That is why Holmes recommends you make use of this, your voter pamphlet. It has more detailed summaries on each of these initiatives and the fiscal impacts and both the arguments for and against them. In studio, Alexandra Cohen-Yarts, 4 News Now.
Some really good information there. Thank you, Alexandra. Well, for many young adults, this is the first time they will cast a vote in a presidential election. A new survey is about the questions many teens have about this year's election. Many teens wanting to know about Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump's policies on key issues like abortion or climate change. They also wanted to know how our electoral process works and why we still use the Electoral College. If your teen has similar questions, you can find those answers right now on our website, KXLY.com. Well, this week is a busy one in local politics. We are dedicated to keeping you informed and empowering you with information. We are airing 2 live debates this week as you prepare to cast your vote. Thursday at noon, right here on KXLY 4 News Now, you can watch the U.S. Senate debate live from Seattle. Incumbent Maria Cantwell will face challenger Dr. Raul Garcia. At the same time, the Spokane Rotary Club is hosting a debate over Proposition 1. This is the tax to pay for public safety programs, and Mayor Lisa Brown and Councilmember Jonathan Bingle will discuss the pros and cons. We'll broadcast that at noon as well. You can watch this debate on KXLY Plus. Just download the KXLY Plus app on your smart TV. You can see it live, and we'll also stream it live on KXLY.com and post the full debate later that day. Still ahead, we'll explain why the principal of one Spokane Valley school spent the day on the roof. And landlords in Spokane now must register their rental units or they won't be able to raise rent or evict their tenants. Why landlords say it will drive property owners away, and the city saying it's trying to protect tenants. Next on 4 News Now at 6.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
Save your greed! If itty-bitty value meals from other places could talk, they'd talk like this.
If Arby's $7 double meats meal could talk, it'd talk like me. Arby's, we have the meats.
Have you or someone you know lived, worked, or enjoyed the outdoors in Lincoln County before 2014? If so, you've likely been exposed to Libby amphibole asbestos. 1 in 4 screened have developed an asbestos-related disease. Hope is here. The Center for Asbestos-Related Disease, CARD, in Libby, provides free screenings, care, and resources to those impacted by asbestos exposure. Don't wait. Early detection is key. Get your free asbestos health screening today. Contact the CARD Clinic, comprehensive care for exposure and disease.
Happy anniversary from McVeigh Brothers. For over 90 years, our family has been remodeling homes in eastern Washington and northern Idaho. We sell the very best products in composition and metal roofing, the energy-efficient Coeur d'Alene windows, and our unlimited selection of maintenance-free siding options. And during our anniversary sale, you can choose up to $2,500 off on select packages or 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 6 months. At McVeigh Brothers, we're always working for you.
I grew up in Eastern Washington, and it's where my parents have retired, and it's where my wife and I are raising our family. I'm Michael Baumgartner, and in Congress, I'll work for your family by protecting Social Security and Medicare, ensuring veterans get the benefits they've earned, fighting the inflation that hurts so many seniors, single moms, and young people. And I'll work hard to make our neighborhoods safe by securing the southern border and stopping the fentanyl pouring into the country. I'm Michael Baumgartner, and I approve this message.
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema. And they can show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Arby's is full of choices. You can get your favorite stuff 3 for $5.
Pretty good.
Incredible value. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
Welcome back. Landlords in Spokane are being told to follow the law or face the consequences. Spokane City Council voted that if a landlord is not registered with the city, they cannot evict tenants or raise rent. Our Hunter Bertram explains why not everyone is on board with this ordinance.
In 2023, the Spokane City Council passed a law requiring a registry of all rental units in the city with the goal of improving communication with landlords and have up-to-date information on properties.
Not only does it protect renters from unscrupulous landlords, it also protects honest and fair landlords who want to do the right thing for their tenants.
The law was designed to help the city intervene quickly. For example, when you have problems beyond a simple fix with your landlord. Now, almost a year since the law went into effect, the City Council says time's up for landlords to comply. At the Spokane City Council meeting Monday night, the council voted to restrict rent hikes and evictions from unlicensed landlords, which Sean Flynn says will take landlords by surprise when
they show up on the courthouse steps and find out they can't move forward with an eviction, even against a dangerous tenant, because of a clerical error.
Flynn also claims the city did not do enough to make rental businesses aware of this new law.
Politically, I think it was way too much, way too soon. I think if they really wanted compliance, there were better ways of doing it.
I also spoke with the Northwest Fair Housing Alliance, who support the ordinance, saying in part, to retain and attract people to live in Spokane, a growing urban center, the city should be able to ensure that rental property that is offered to tenants is safe and meets some standard habitability affordability requirements. Yet Sean Flynn worries this will bring down the amount of rentals in the city.
When regulations become overly cumbersome and strip away housing providers' rights to manage their property, they leave.
It costs landlords $15 per unit to register with the city. There are some exemptions for low-income housing. In Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Well, this is the principal of the Summit School in Spokane Valley who traded his office to spend the day on the roof. And he wasn't just there to enjoy the nice fall weather. He is actually fulfilling his promise to students for raising $55,000. The principal saying the money goes to paying for activities the kids have throughout the year.
Reaching the funding goal is really big because there's so many things we do at Summit, and without the funding, it's not going to happen. So it's just wonderful that we reached the goal, and we know that the kids are going to get to do those things that we had planned to do.
Isn't that fun? This isn't the first time Principal Clemens spent the day on the roof. It's become a yearly tradition. He says started with an idea to get parents and kids excited about fundraising.
I really played it up that it was me against them, that they weren't going to make it, and I was going to win and they weren't. And last year, or 2 years ago, they won. And so I got to eat crow. I actually had a parent send ketchup up here so I could put it on the crow that I'd have to eat.
Okay, someone else will have to egg students and parents on next year, though, because Principal Clemens plans on retiring. He says there's a lot he's going to miss about his job.
That's, it's all about them and getting to hang out with them every day is just a blessing.
What an exciting principal. I remember, a lot of fun things about my elementary school principal.
Oh, that is nice. Crow eating. I'll like some follow-up questions.
I have a few too.
The crow.
Derek Strom was the one who did that interview. We'll have to ask him.
Yeah, is he over there? Yeah,
was
I would
there
like
ketchup
to know.
Involved, a little Tabasco.
Maybe it was a steak cut in the shape of a crow. I'm not sure. It was a nice day to be up on the roof. We made it to 70 degrees or higher in Spokane for the 4th day in a row. It's going to be the last day for many days in a row. Cooler, wetter, and occasionally windy weather to tell you about in the forecast after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Just Between Friends.
I got soul. Make me wanna dance.
The new Findlay Honda store downtown is rolling out year-end closeout deals on everyone's favorite Hondas.
I got soul.
I had surgery as a child that I barely remember. But decades later, the insurance company called that a pre-existing condition and denied me long-term care insurance. Washington State created a long-term care benefit to help millions of people like me afford the care we need. But I-2124 will take that benefit away, leaving millions with no way to get or afford long-term care. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. That's why we all have to vote no on I-2124.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow?
I didn't know that.
Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year.
ShopDaveSmith.com.
4 News Now and STCU are recognizing volunteers who make a difference in our community. Today, we honor Sindhu Sarapanini. She created a nonprofit that inspires youth to accept who they are by empowering self-confidence and growth.
Sindhu is an active leader in her community, teaching art and dance, raising funds for nonprofits, and serving over 1,000 volunteer hours.
As I got older, I realized that I have the ability to help make a change, so that's why I'm doing this.
Thanks to STCU for helping to make sure volunteers count.
Well, we are looking at a giant gourd here. We've been doing a few of these lately. Tis the season, as they say. It's a 2,400-pound gourd that won this year's Safeway Pumpkin Weigh-Off in California. The man who grew the giant fruit fell short of breaking his own world record set in 2023 at 2,749 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing. Update into the newsroom. Talked to Derek Strom. It was not a real crow. It was the saying, of course, but when they said ketchup,
we were concerned.
I thought, did he really? Yeah, of course he didn't.
The principal we're talking about, who was on the roof. Yeah, he didn't eat a real crow.
I mean, I've heard the saying before.
I have too.
But the way it was said.
And he does have ketchup now. That part was real. Derek said he looked in his bag. Pretty cute.
Oh my goodness. We have 4 things that you need to know about your weather. Some rain coming overnight. Showers on Wednesday, 30-mile-per-hour gusts in the afternoon, and some mountain snow. Yes, we are talking snow, but first wind. Wednesday's winds will be picking up in the afternoon by about noon, 25-mile-per-hour gusts, 30-mile-per-hour gusts as we get into the late afternoon and evening, and that's when the rain is going to be back, so not a very pleasant Wednesday evening. That snow level that I was talking about, that is going to be around 3,000 to 3,500 feet at its lowest Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And you can see that could impact Sherman Pass, possibly a little snow on Lookout Pass and Stevens Pass. I'm sure if you take a tour of your favorite ski areas, sky cameras, you'll be able to find a little bit of snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It's going to be rain in the valleys, though, and the heavier rain will be found on the Palouse up through the northern panhandle, with amounts in the hundredths of an inch in general over eastern Washington. We're going to be missing out on the heavier rain, but measurable rain these days has been hard to come by, and we'll have additional chances. A chance of some lingering showers Thursday. Friday looks like the nicest day on the forecast. Saturday, a chance of rain coming in late as the system approaches, bringing another pretty good slug of rain for Sunday. An upper level trough dropping down. Here's Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Wednesday into Thursday, that's going to cool things down and drop that snow level down to pass level in many locations. Thursday at 9, we're dry, beautiful Friday, and most of Saturday. And then that system approaches late Saturday. Here's 8 o'clock Saturday into Sunday, bringing another round of precipitation that will continue through the start of next week. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Plan on wet weather to start the day Wednesday, and then more in the afternoon. 60 for a high, 53 on Thursday, with a 40% chance of showers. Drawing your attention to this Thursday night temperature, 29. Could see a good hard freeze over portions of the region where we have not had that yet. 20% chance of showers Saturday, but it looks like that's mostly going to be late Saturday and into what might be a stay inside and watch football Sunday. Showers Monday, and then we are dry on Tuesday. Really only one night to look out for in terms of freezing, and that is that Thursday and into Friday. Kirsten?
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, Washington State is gearing up for a homecoming game against Hawaii this Saturday. Why Jake Dickert says this week means more than most. Coming up in sports. And hospitals are struggling to get their hands on IV fluid. What's causing the shortage and the steps some Washington hospitals are taking to make sure there's enough to go around.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
What's all this? You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
Many great careers don't need a 4-year degree. They start out here. Bob Ferguson has a detailed plan to expand apprenticeships and on-the-job training like I had to get more Washingtonians the skills they need to succeed. And Bob will eliminate 4-year degree requirements for most state jobs, opening doors to more good-paying careers. I would support Bob Ferguson, even if he wasn't my kid brother, but it helps he listens to old machinists like me.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
I'm a real wild one.
Life is wild. There's work to be done, adventure around every corner, and a truck that handles it all. The new 2024 Ford F-150 Wild Edition. It's rugged, loaded with tech, and built to go wild. Get a wild deal on an F-150 today. Lease a 2024 F-150 SDX 4x4 for just $399 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Greetings, Bill Nye here. Reading this is easy, right? Your brain is actually doing something called orthographic processing, recognizing letters and words. It's science. But take a look at Initiative 2117. It's written to confuse you. The mega millionaires behind it don't want you to know it will mean more air pollution, threaten clean water, and put our health at risk. You don't have to be a science guy to know that 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
4 News Now is brought to you by Kerner Furniture.
Around the nation, an IV fluid shortage across the country, delaying surgeries and forcing hospitals and healthcare facilities to find ways to conserve it. The shortage was caused by Hurricane Helene that has had a major manufacturing plant in crisis in North Carolina. KOMO's Michelle Esteban explains how hospitals in Washington are coping.
IV fluids, the lifeblood for treating millions of patients, and right now they are in short supply. Hospitals and healthcare providers in full-on conservation mode.
All types of healthcare organizations need to be taking steps to conserve the supply that they have.
Rona Lean with the Northwest Healthcare Response Network says the most critical strategy is to conserve IV fluids for the most urgent patients. And in many cases, that means postponing elective procedures.
For every hospital, they're going to have to assess, are there impacts based on their supply and their patient population that might warrant them taking steps to temporarily postpone particular elective procedures.
Would you assess where we are with regard to those most urgent patients? Do we have enough IV fluids for them?
I would say that it's important for each healthcare facility to answer that question. We are hearing that the most urgent patients can continue to get the care that they need.
The Response Network works with medical providers around disaster preparedness and response. They know in times of disaster, supply chains can be impacted. They work with 100 hospitals in Washington, including Overlake Medical Center in Bellevue.
Every surgery gets an evaluation for expected utilization of IV fluid and gets a nod yes or no from the surgical services team.
The day after Hurricane Helene damaged the nation's largest IV fluid supplier, Overlake opened an incident command center and got to work on how to conserve. So far, they're reducing IV consumption by up to 40%.
We changed how we do IVs for antibiotics.
Instead of using an IV bag, a new pharmacy protocol relies on a small IV push through a syringe, coping with the unpredictable nature of a situation that could linger.
There may be some continuing disruptions for the weeks ahead, at least through the calendar year.
Michelle Esteban, KOMO News.
Well, a local nonprofit is fighting to keep their therapy horse following a life-threatening injury.
How do you put a value on a horse that is saving lives?
We'll show you how he's been helping children and veterans for years. Coming up. And a fluffy frenzy in North Spokane with packs of rabbits nibbling on gardens and chewing up lawns. What people want the city to do about these surprise invaders. That's next. Stay here.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Happy anniversary from McVeigh Brothers. This month, if you'd like to upgrade your home with some new Coeur d'Alene windows or maybe a new roof, we're offering an anniversary special. Or no money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 6 months. From McVeigh Brothers.
Are you ready to stay for less and play for more? The Kootenai Casino has low room rates and our most exciting gaming yet. Book now to get your deluxe room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $99 every midweek night in October. And join us for October Hot Spins, Weekend Super Spins, and catch the game Monday nights. Win big in October. Book your getaway at the Kootenai Casino today. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
It's fall and the games are on. Get out and support your local teams. Here's this week's schedule.
Here we go.
EWU.
Here we go now. Here we go. Here we go.
Gonzaga.
Now. Here we go. Here we go now.
U of I.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
WSU.
Here we go now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Whitworth.
Here we go. Here we go now.
Game On is proudly brought to you by BECU.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. See your local GMC dealer.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Tacoma for just $349 per month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's a celebration of love and inspiration. 'Twas wonderful.
Our dancing stars pay tribute on dedication night.
Plus the return of Derek and Haley Huff.
This was beautiful.
Dancing with the Stars live tonight, 8/7 Central.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
A North Spokane neighborhood has some new friends. These cute little bunnies have moved in just a few blocks east of the Northtown Mall. But some neighbors are not happy to see them. Madeline Mullins spoke to some of the people living in the neighborhood about why they are asking the city to help get rid of the rabbits. Madeline?
Kirsten, the number of rabbits living in this neighborhood is growing fast. One man told me what started with 2 or 3 has now grown to about 50 bunnies. And with that has come damage to a lot of people's properties.
Very sweet, they're very, adorable, but they're also very destructive. And I've seen so many people's lawns that are just completely destroyed because of them.
You wouldn't think these cute, cuddly animals could do all of this damage, but people living in this North Spokane neighborhood know they can.
They're also very destructive. They eat a lot. The person that lives next door tries to garden in the back, and they like to eat her garden up.
These rabbits have left many of the yards in this neighborhood covered in patches of dead grass and rabbit droppings. But that's not all. Neighbors tell me dead rabbits wind up in the streets and in their front yards.
There's a lot of dead rabbits over here on Addison a lot. I've had to pick up several of them in the yard.
But the rabbits are not the only uninvited guests. Word has spread about these rabbits, and people are now visiting this neighborhood to check these cute animals out. One woman told me she's seen people with nets trying to catch these bunnies and take them home. While nobody is quite sure where they came from, most in this neighborhood are ready for them to move out. Dennis says he has reached out to the city council and Scraps, the animal shelter.
Just no jurisdiction over it. There's no code enforcement for it. Nobody's taking claim to them as theirs, per se. So there's not a lot that any of the agencies are able to do about it.
I reached out to Councilmember Bingle, and he told me that he is working to give Scraps the authority to take care of these nuisance animals, not just in this neighborhood, but all over the city.
All right, Madeline, thank you. A heads up to drivers, part of the Green Street Bridge near Spokane Community College is closing once again tonight. It's expected to close at 8 p.m. and reopen early tomorrow morning. And during that time, crews will be setting bridge girders for the North Spokane corridor to get over the river. Well, there's some big changes in the forecast on the way with cooler temperatures and rain. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see when it'll arrive in your neighborhood.
Well, the clouds have already arrived here in downtown Spokane. A moody sky. Our sunset was at 1 minute after 6, so it is long set. We're just starting to see some very light precipitation on this side of the Cascades from Wenatchee up through Chelan and Omak. Won't be long till you'll be getting some sprinkles in Colville. May take a while before that rain moves into the Spokane area. We have about a 20% chance at 11, but most of that rain is going to hold off until later after midnight, particularly between the hours of around 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And then that will taper off by the time the morning commute is underway. Precipitation totals, let's take a look as we go through the overnight. Here's 7 a.m. Most of the precipitation will have fallen by around 7 a.m., but there is still some lingering shower activity that could add to those precipitation totals during the day on Wednesday, especially over North Idaho and down onto the Palouse. Your Wednesday planner, it is going to be breezy in the afternoon, wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast, Kirsten.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, a local nonprofit that offers horse-assisted therapy is asking for the community's help after one of its animals suffered a life-threatening injury. Marissa Rio shares the impact this horse has had on people.
You're probably sugared out from all those peppermints, huh?
This here is Westside Clyde. While he looks to be in good spirits today, this isn't his typical home. He's usually found like this, roaming through 20 acres of land at the local nonprofit Second Chance Ranch. Instead, he's here at an equine hospital after suffering a life-threatening injury last month. He ran into a steel latch that pierced through his shoulder all the way down to the joint. His vet bills, now up to $12,000, have put a financial strain on the nonprofit, but they're determined to help him heal.
How do you put a value on a horse that is saving lives, that has literally saved dozens of lives, and he still has a lot more work to do?
Clyde is a therapy horse whose main job is to help kids and veterans. A local therapist who brings kids and young adults for therapy with Clyde says he's helped change so many of her patients' lives.
Clyde has been monumental in his support with working with youth and young adults who have challenges in mental health. He's so emotionally receptive and just provides this really safe space for just hope and healing on their mental health journey.
Today, Clyde had a visitor from his dear friend. Colton Matheson is a veteran who volunteers at the ranch and says Clyde has helped him with anger issues that he suffered after the Army.
Veterans get out of the military, it's a very big sense of loss. Lose your job, family, friends, and then your sense of purpose. When you build that relationship with a horse, you kind of get that leadership structure back, you kind of get that connection back.
Colton hopes Clyde can heal so other veterans can experience that connection with him. For more information on ways that you can help Clyde during his recovery, you can visit our website at kxly.com. In Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Such a sweet horse. I hope he gets more help from the community. Well, the next group of sports stars have been inducted into the Inland Northwest Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we caught up with this year's class and what it means for them to be a part of sports history. Stay with us.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Washington Trust Bank Shred Day.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see all that you are? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you. Kaiser Permanente.
Man, I can take real good care of you. See? Works perfectly for you, right?
At Craig Swap & Associates, we don't get paid until you win.
One call, that's all. 509-999-9999.
Every year, the crowds go crazy for the Cal Triple Play of the Day, where you can get tricked out cool trucks or sporty SUVs just in time for winter. And this week, you can delay all games until next year. Get a minimum $2,000 trade-in value for your old ride, plus get a 2-year service maintenance program with every vehicle sold, which is a triple play opportunity. This week at both Cal locations.
One thing that I think is cool about Move Fitness is that everyone that walks through our doors comes for a different reason.
For some people, it's the best part of their day. It's kind of hard to explain. You almost have to experience it.
From the moment you walk in,
From the energetic music, the smiles, and the high fives.
it's just a great, positive place to work out.
And you get it all for about $1 a day. Join the movement.
Everyone's got to move, right?
Election season is here, and so are those pesky robocalls and text messages. You can hit a button, and it's going to blast a message to a lot of people. Have you ever wondered why campaigns still use them, even if they drive people crazy? If they're going to mobile phones, you should have had to give permission for that. I'm Natalie Grant with 4 News Now. I'll show you the strategy behind these calls and how you can stop them. Watch our For the People coverage Thursday on Good Morning Northwest.
It's a big weekend for Washington State football. The Cougars are taking on Hawaii for their homecoming game on Saturday, Julian.
Yeah, it should be exciting. The Cougs found their way back home after a win on the road. In this week's Cougar Chalk Talk, Sydney Berger shares how the Cougs are embracing the meaning of homecoming.
Well, for most people, Pullman, Washington is just a tiny town surrounded by wheat fields. But for the coaches and players that make this place a quick stop in their career, it's somewhere they'll call home forever.
Everyone that leaves here goes, Coach, that was, way better than what I thought it was, or what it was going to be. I said, that's because you hit Google and all you find is a bunch of farmlands.
First impressions are everything. And while this tiny town might not seem like much for an outsider, Jake Dickert says, just get in the building and you'll see what makes this place so unique.
You share those memories, you share those times, you understand what it means to be a former player, to put this logo on. The Crimson and Gray means a lot to a lot of people. But when we sing the song, back home song after the first quarter, I'm sure they're talking about homecoming. Let's all find our way back home.
This is Coach Dickert's 5th homecoming with Washington State and 3rd as a head coach, but certainly not the first time he's reflecting on its importance.
To go through everything we have, to now sit in this chair, to now wear this logo with extreme pride, to now have 5 years of my family being in this town and this community and being an integral part of it, you feel that, from a family. I feel that.
For Keith Brown, Pullman is his 3rd stop, but it's one he'll always come back to.
This is probably the most fun I've had since I've been in college, the most enjoyment I've had, and the most it feels so good to win at home here. So yeah, I think definitely Pullman will be a place to call home.
In a college football world with NIL deals in big cities from major schools, choosing to play at Washington State takes a special kind of player. Dickert says the guys that see it through come out on the other end a better person.
I think they look back at their time here, towards the end, or you get to my age, you're just like, man, that really shaped who I am. I went through something hard. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes I felt isolated out of my comfort zone, but that made me grow up and mature. And I think it's a big selling point in recruiting to just know that, their kids are going to be taken care of and they get ingrained in this type of culture here at Washington State.
Well, the Cougs are back at home this week at Giesa Field. Kickoff against the Rainbow Warriors is at 12:30 this Saturday. Live in studio, Sydney Berger, 4 News Now Sports.
All right, thank you, Sydney. Now, the next set of sports stars were inducted into the Inland Northwest Sports Hall of Fame today. The class is headlined by former KXLY sports anchor Bud Namick. Namick spent years on TV as a a sports reporter and a news anchor on KXLY 920 radio. He was also on the broadcast team for Washington State football and basketball. The other inductees include Gonzaga assistant and former Meade standout Stacey Kleinsmith, longtime Colfax volleyball coach Sue Deering, former WSU basketball star Isaac Fontaine, former WSU volleyball coach right there, Jen Greeny, and longtime NHL referee and Spokane Braves player Dennis LaRue.
I'm looking at John Stockton right now, and you know, and Ryan Sandberg and Mark Rippon. I covered those guys. You know, and to think I'm in a Hall of Fame with them is pretty, you know, it's eye-opening and humbling.
I had such a good experience playing sports in Spokane. People came out to our games. I mean, it was fun, and the amount of support for athletics in Spokane, it's not like that everywhere.
And you can watch the full ceremony on KXLY next month. Eastern Washington University is hosting its Eagle Mad Nest basketball event tomorrow. Fans will get a first look at the men's, women's, and wheelchair basketball teams. The night includes games, prizes, a skills competition, three-point shootout, and a dunk contest. There will also be an autograph session before the event. All starts at 6:30 tomorrow at Reese Court in Cheney. It's also the first time we're going to be able to talk to Jody Gleason from the women's team before their season begins, and the new head coach of the men's team, Dan Munson, who used to be at Gonzaga. Now he's found his way back to the Inland Northwest with Eastern Washington. So first look at the new team should be exciting.
Yeah, that'll be good. And Derek Dice will be back for Nightside. He was emceeing the Hall of Fame, so it'll be fun to hear from him as well. Yeah. Chris.
More things to know about your weather. We have some rain moving in overnight. Showers on Wednesday, up to 30-mile-per-hour gusts in the afternoon tomorrow, and the possibility of mountain snow. I'll be back to let you know what to expect where you live after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Have a mix and match morning with any 2 breakfast classics. When you buy one, get one for just $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Who isn't looking for extra ways to save some money these days, right? I'm always looking for new ways to save, but I haven't found anything better than my Ascend checking account. It's a free account that offers 3.5% of your average monthly balance. That can feed your coffee obsession for 2 weeks. Not only am I earning money, but it also has all the best features of a checking account. What's not to love?
Open your P1FCU checking account at p1fcu.org and start earning today.
Mainstream has proudly served Greater Spokane and Northern Idaho for over 20 years, offering reliable and high-quality home services. Our exceptional team is committed to delivering trusted plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical solutions that ensure the comfort and safety of your home. Our goal is to provide the best experience possible when it comes to repairing, maintaining, or installing systems that make your home a more comfortable place to live. Because we are home services, we are Mainstream.
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema. And they can show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Greetings, Bill Nye here. Reading this is easy, right? Your brain is actually doing something called orthographic processing, recognizing letters and words. It's science. But take a look at Initiative 2117. It's written to confuse you. The mega millionaires behind it don't want you to know it will mean more air pollution, threaten clean water, and put our health at risk. You don't have to be a science guy to know that 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Say less, get more. Buy one, get one for $1. Choose from Bacon McDouble, McChicken, McDouble, or Hot and Spicy McChicken. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Granite.
Welcome back. Washington, D.C. now has 2 furry residents that are new. The giant pandas landed in the U.S. from China. The 3-year-old cubs came in a FedEx cargo plane called, and we didn't make this up, the Panda Express. So that's what they named it. The bears are on loan for an annual fee of $1 million a year to help with China's panda conservation efforts. Pandas from China first came to the U.S. in 1972 after President Nixon visited China, and the First Lady said she loved the pandas. 2 months later, China sent 2 to show their friendship, and they are adorable bears.
And I do remember when those 2 came back in the 70s. It was a huge deal. I had posters of them on my wall as a kid, and everybody loves pandas.
I know,
that's
they're
really
sweet.
Great. And I think a lot of people love some pretty fall weather.
Yes.
We've got some cooler temperatures coming, but it's going to come along with rain. Now, today was our 4th day in a row of 70 and above weather. We hit 70 officially in Spokane. Look at our average high. 58 degrees, our record high 80. Sunset tonight was at 1 minute after 6. Our temperature trend, even though we're cooling down 10 degrees tomorrow to 60, we're still a little above average. And then we drop to a little below Thursday and Friday before we're back to above average temperatures through the rest of the 7-day forecast. This line, you'll notice, is at quite a slant. You'll never see it at a steeper angle than in the month of October. Our change in average high during the month of October is more severe than in any other month. We drop 18 degrees in our average high in the month of October, and that is why it is a month of change. And we're starting to kick into that late October, November weather pattern, with a Aleutian low, another one, sending us cool, wet weather. Here's Wednesday at 9 o'clock, a little over 24 hours from now, with some cooler air coming in, a series of disturbances, keeping the chance of showers going through our forecast, and maybe a little bit of snow in the higher terrain Wednesday night into Thursday, with the snow level dropping down to around 3,000 or 3,500 feet. Thursday at 9, we dry out for a pretty but cool Friday, and then another system approaches for late Saturday and into Sunday for another round of rain for the second half of your weekend. This first system, though, here's Tuesday at 6, current time. Band of precipitation comes in the early morning hours. Here's 3 a.m. with rain through Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, all the way up through North Idaho, down into the Palouse. That will continue to make its way to the east. By 8 a.m., mostly dry over eastern Washington, and then we'll see the showers return as we get into the evening. Here's 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then another break is on the way. The winds will be picking up throughout the afternoon. Here's 1, 2 o'clock, seeing those 25 to 30 mile per hour gusts around the region, and then they will slowly die down as we get into Wednesday night. There's the snow level again, around 3,000 to 3,500 feet. That is just above Snoqualmie Pass, but we may see a little dusting on Stevens, Lookout, and Sherman passes. Lingering showers on Thursday, Friday, a beautiful day, 53 and sunny, and then that rain returns on Sunday with cooler weather next week. Do want to point out one temperature this 29th, Thursday night into Friday. I did some Googling about mums, Kirsten, and you will likely, if you have them in baskets outside, you might want to cover them. They don't really like the frost, but then they'll be fine the rest of the week.
There we go. All right, I get to go back and get my mums. You know where I'm getting them to, Chris.
Yes, I do. I didn't know they still had them. That's great.
Yeah, and they're on sale. All right, well, with those cold temperatures on the way, it's time to winterize your home. You'll also want to blow out your sprinkler system, because if you don't, water will be left in the pipes all winter long. And if that water freezes, it could crack or even burst, which could cost a good chunk of change to fix. You'll want to seal any and all spaces under doors and windows where a draft can come in. Finding the perfect gift for everyone on your holiday list can be tough, but if you want to get ahead on your shopping, adding a personal touch might be just the thing to make your gifts stand out. ABC's Zoreen Shah has some great ideas for personalized gifts you can order now that'll arrive just in time for the holidays.
Finding the perfect holiday gift can be daunting, but smart shopping expert Trey Bodge says personalized presents can be a great way to make your loved one feel special.
I just think that they add that extra level of care, and they're so fun to receive. They're so specific to the person.
When deciding what to give, Bodge says to consider an item that embraces a child or pet, like ordering from Print Art Kids.
They specialize in taking a child's artwork and turning it into something else, like a puzzle or a journal or a notepad.
Or Type League Press.
And they specialize in taking the picture of a baby and then the baby's name and putting it on anything from a tote bag to a water bottle. And they also specialize in doing this for pets.
If gifting to a travel lover, Bodge recommends a monogrammed weekender bag or toiletry kit from State Bags and other brands. Or check out Wander Club.
You can get a keychain and buy these little tokens that you apply to the keychain that indicate maybe a site that you visited, a country, a city.
Bodge says household goods can be tricky because everyone has their own taste, but something functional is a safe option, like cutting boards from things remembered.
They have these nesting cutting boards that they all stack together, but then when you spread them out, it gives a lot of space for cheeses, breads, crackers, all that good stuff. And you can put a family name or a message on the top board.
Or a candle from Lorraine and Alfie.
You give the recipient's name and a little information about the recipient, and then they write this delightful little narrative that gets printed on the label of the candle, and it feels very personal.
When it comes to personalized gifts, Bodge says to get your orders in sooner rather than later, so you know your custom items will arrive in time for the holidays. Zoreen Shah, ABC News Los Angeles.
As we head to break, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Next, ET, we're horsing around with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
We should get a tattoo of it.
Oh, my God. I'm way ahead of you. Plus, the Shark Tank Sharks are
spilling the ET.
Next,
watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Election season is here, and so are those pesky robocalls and text messages. I'm Natalie Grant with 4 News Now. I'll show you the strategy behind these calls and how you can stop them. Watch our For the People coverage Thursday on Good Morning Northwest.
Happy anniversary from McVeigh Brothers. This month, if you'd like to upgrade your home with some new Coeur d'Alene windows or maybe a new roof, we're offering an anniversary special. Or no money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 6 months. From McVeigh Brothers.
It's the Cal Superstore Triple Play of the Week, where not only can you get tricked out vehicles for less, but now you can delay all payments until next year. Get a minimum $2,000 trade-in value plus a 2-year service maintenance program.
Here in Washington, we love the word and, like socks and sandals, flannels and beanies, wheat fields and mountains. And now with FundHub WA, saving money and helping the climate. Find grants to bring resources and funds to your community. Get incentives to grow your business and transition to clean energy. And discover rebates that will save you money at home and on the go and reduce emissions. Find funding opportunities today at fundhub.wa.gov.
North Idaho Urology, in partnership with Cancer Care Northwest. We specialize in advanced prostate cancer care.
I'm Dr. Aaron Wagner. I'm a radiation oncologist with Cancer Care Northwest. We have quite a few different treatment options for prostate cancer, ranging anywhere from standard radiation and IMRT approaches to SBRT to brachytherapy, a full spectrum of different prostate cancer treatments. We very much try to individualize their treatment plan for them.
Hello, I'm Mark Peterson. It's that time of year again when Washington Trust Bank helps you dispose of your sensitive documents and protect your identity with 4 easy steps.
First, drive to one of their 6 participating drive-through locations.
Second, fill your seal and shred bag with the documents that you want to destroy. Third, secure the seal and shred bag.
Then drop off your bag at Debris where they will destroy your documents in their secure space.
Shred Day is Friday, October 18th from 9 to 5. Pick up your seal and shred bag at one of their 6 participating locations.
4 News Now is brought to you by River Park Square.
A Shaw middle schooler arrested for bringing a gun to school. How the school resource officer uncovered the potential threat, plus exclusive video of the moment officers examined the loaded handgun. That's tonight on Nightside.
Rain on the way tonight. We'll get some breaks on Wednesday from mid-morning through the early afternoon and then more rain on the way. Friday looks nice and feeling a lot more like fall in the 7-day forecast.
I was talking to some of the Californians in our newsroom about the fall leaves plan we have.
I'm gonna have a raking party. Doesn't that sound fun? Don't tell them that it's not.